What's Happening Hoke show is filmed before a live audience and is brought to you by Rockfish Motor Speedway, the Rock of Hoke, Nunboys.com, and GPS Photography and Video. GPS Photo. What's Happening Hoke? We're back. What's Happening Hoke show is brought to you by the Rock of Hoke, Rockfish Motor Speedway. We're at 2950 Lindsay Road every Thursday at 4 o'clock, 4 to 5 doing the show.
Come on out and join us and bring some questions to you. Even sponsored by the racetrack, where action is the main attraction.
Yes.
We could have some folks in here asking questions.
Exactly.
And getting
You want
involved.
to find out what's going on. We probably got a lead on it. How's it at the News Journal? I'm running around all week.
Like a chicken with his head cut off.
We got a lot of stuff going on. Speaking of which, are you looking for a job? Everybody's looking for a job.
Look, let me tell you, this job is the bomb.
I'm gonna tell you now. This is with Brownie's Towing. He's looking for wrecker operators. Apply within. You must have a 3-year MVR driving record
Clean.
and a clean 7-year criminal background check. Applications inside right here at the U-Haul building and the towing office. That's from 8 to 5 p.m. So basically, you could come down here now and check on the job.
Get your application. First of all, driving a tow truck is enjoyable. It's a little bit of hard work, but it's enjoyable because you're helping people.
Exactly.
If people get strung out on the road and they need some assistance, they call AAA, they call Brownie's Towing. And then maybe it could be a mom and their children out on the side of the road, and you go help them out and get them taken care of.
Now, unfortunately, you might be responding to a wreck as well.
And the one thing, and I've had my share of those where I've responded to a wreck, and some of them are not pretty. However, the good thing about it, military guys and
I don't
girls.
know if Brownie reached out on the post.
Yeah,
the ACAP and whatnot.
They're working on it.
Okay.
Military folks, I drove a wrecker while I was active duty at Fort Eustis, Virginia, so you could get off of work at
all those
4:30 or
63
so.
hotels, those light vehicles,
That's right.
mechanic, those guys.
And work at night, and on the weekends you can make a little extra money.
Exactly.
So how do they get out? They just come
You
by
come right here to the U-Haul building. What's the number over here?
The address?
The phone number.
The address is 2950 Lindsay Road, right here at the U-Haul building. What's the phone number?
848
848-910-848
2968.
2968. 910-848-2968. Hey, you may have a job waiting for you right here.
All right.
With the schools and the AC is a good thing, man. Glad that story ended well. We want to continue to monitor that with the schools because there's a lot of school stories. And the biggest thing we're going to wrap it up with on the news segment. Crime, do you think it'll go down or it'll stay the same?
I was talking to one of the detectives the other day, and he says about this time, crime goes down.
Really?
Because the parents are more engaged in what the students are doing, what the young kids, because when
Unfortunately, the percentage of people that are committing the crimes
are the young kids. So he told me that about now, first week of school, second week of school, he says where you have to watch is about the 5th or 6th week when things start to get calmed back down. Mom and daddy take their eyes a little bit off the kid, and the kids go out and get involved in some mischievous stuff. He said it'll pick back up towards the middle of September, October, and then November. He said typically the crime will drop a little bit in December and January.
Well, hey, let's move on to sports, man.
All right.
I really think we may need another high school. I'm anxious to see what the numbers are going to be by Friday. That's when they'll know their enrollment. And, we're probably going to end up in the Big 4A because I'm expecting us to be in the playoffs.
Yep.
But coach's show was last night, briefly on football. Going into Jack Britt tonight, JV game at 7 o'clock.
Yep.
New Hanover was tough.
So we had 4 turnovers.
4 turnovers. One was a fumble. Coach corrected me last night.
Yep.
3 were interceptions.
And you don't want to beat the team up so bad because it's early on. You mark some of the bad and you check some of the good. 4 turnovers. Safeties having to make tackles all the time.
So if it's safeties making the tackle, you already got 5, 6, 7 yards rushing.
And sometimes it can be different. We don't have a lot of special teams experience.
No kicker.
No kicker
We're
at
going
this
for 2
point. If
every
you can
time.
kick and you
Talk
go to
about
Hoke
scouting
County
report
High
on
School.
Hoke County. Hey, they're going for 2 every time.
That's right.
Coach said 50% of the time you're gonna make it.
He said if you're 50% making the extra point, you only get this many.
Yeah.
But if you're 50% making 2, you're better off. So I sort of understand.
But when you look at the kickoff as well, punting as well suffered. As well.
He said we only lined up to punt twice, which
one
kinda
time
shocked
we were
me.
sacked. Brandon Smith was sacked when I don't know if that was designed to be a run or
He
whatnot,
bobbled it.
or they do that running punt, but he was tackled.
Well, Brandon Smith is
Two
one of the
illegal procedures
Yep.
on the first opening drive of the offense. I mean, 12 men on the field twice.
Yeah, but both teams had that
Yeah,
problem.
but
I mean,
you expect that in the opening game, but you beat yourself. But
they
when a
came
guy
out
gets hurt,
and did all right.
they got to step up. Look, we got the 4x1, 4x2 team. with
Montrell,
receivers. And so that's a
Montrez,
challenge to your
Riggins,
manhood.
Martinez.
So be it. You need to step up and go get that ball. That quarterback should not be overthrowing receivers.
Not as
They were
fast
second
as
in
we
the
are.
state in the 4x2, and I think they scratched in the 4x1.
Not as fast
Just
as
a
we are.
footnote.
Montrell, Douglas, Martez, Riggins.
Yep.
Who was one of the other ones?
They got to step up, man.
And the defensive player of the game was Quinn Maynard
Quinn Maynard,
and Michael Schifo.
Michael
special
Schifo
teams.
with special teams, Josh,
Who was the
almost said Josh Smith,
Jacob Rush.
Jacob Rushing. Jacob Rushing, offense, 130 plus yards,
137
2
yards
TDs,
rushing,
40
2 TDs.
receiving, and that big screen pass. Talking about Jack Britt, I was looking at the film. They opened up with a halfback pass against Douglasburg.
Yep, and
That
went all the way,
and
didn't
it
it?
was scored. So I mean, trickeration right down there in the boneyard. That's early. I don't
that's
know.
how they roll.
But then when would you want to try it? Late in the season, middle of the season. But yeah, they look good, Coach.
How does they look up
They
front?
are as identified. They are as
I need
advertised.
to check that out.
They are
Look at that.
big on big up front. That front seven. They got a couple special team players. Coach, basically
Brian
had them
Rand.
at speed as same as ours. Didn't know if they had too many Division I guys, but hey, the scout report, they're 1-0. We're 0-1. We got to get a win, man.
One cool thing about the game, and we'll note this and move on to something else. Brian Rimp, the head coach of Jack Britt, and Coach David Jorgensen played at East Carolina together.
Yeah.
They were roommates,
Right,
from what I heard.
right.
So that'll be a pretty
So
neat
maybe they scout
reunion.
each other. Hey, let's talk about the Rock of Hoke. It's finally going to happen.
Mod
Light. There's going to be 5 races Saturday.
Hurricane Hank
Look at these
Edwards.
names. Hurricane Hank Edwards. Duke Layton. That's a name.
Duke like that.
And here's the one I like. I just coined this week. Cool Hand Colt.
Cool Hand
Cool
Colt.
Hand Colt.
You could almost say Cool Hand Duke.
Yeah, well, well, Cool Hand Luke. But Cool Hand Colt gave him that name, not Colton Beasley. Cool Hand Colt Beasley. Why? He took that 2.5 roll in that new Mod Light car. He just gets out the car and just walks away, man. His whole demeanor is just poise. He's got great poise in that race
He
car.
does. Big, tall fellow.
Yeah, and I mean, so I'm looking for him to do well. I mean, that's only 3 drivers, unfortunately. You get to learn the names, and now they had to do race. So I mean, I had no idea the other
Larry,
guys out
what's a
there.
couple of other names coming down for that Mod Light race?
Jake Layton, Duke's boy, man.
Okay.
Jake, okay,
Jake Layton.
father son. Interesting.
Any out of towners?
That's in the 32.
Some drivers coming out of Goldsboro or Kansas.
That's my hometown, man.
There's a lot of number 32 cars. What's up with that? There's a 32J. I think that's the one-
32X.
A 32X. I mean, is there no other numbers?
I don't know.
I think Hurricane's what, 6 or 9?
So,
6. And there's a 21 or 24.
They are
Yellow
fast,
car.
folks. If you
But,
can make it out here Saturday night, it'll
What's
be
the
all right.
note? This is the first Mod Light race. I did not know this in North Carolina.
Is it the first one?
This is something.
Big
This is
time.
news breaking.
Well,
so I mean, hey, you're gonna be out there, right?
Yeah, I'm coming this Saturday. Now
I
you might
expect
have
a big crowd.
you might have some folks show up unannounced too, right?
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Okay, so there might be
So
some of
it's
these.
gonna be huge.
Hey, some of these guys got the money. They bring that hot rod.
I'm excited to see, but the whole big thing is like when we talked about Hurricane Edwards when we interviewed him. Control, man. He said he just wants to get through the daggone heat clean.
Don't believe that for a minute.
We're gonna see. But hey, other stories. Eric Cardona.
Yeah, I put-
You look at the points. Where is he?
There's the point standing right there.
He's number 2. So he's leapfrogged Kimberly Oxendine. 2 weeks in a row, man. He's won the mini pro. And of course, you know the other story. Fast Eddie Daniels.
Oh boy, that's the key.
Going for number 12
That's the key right there.
to tie the record. And you know who holds the record? Billy Gomez Jr. Exciting races this Saturday. You don't want to miss it. Week 14 at the Rock of Hope. This Saturday, gates open at 2. Heat should start around.
600 again. Wingless 600.
Again, yeah, the 600s
Also
are
Saturday?
wingless.
So you're running
Yeah.
wingless 600s, mod lights in all divisions? I don't know how they gonna
I'll tell you
pull
what,
that
man,
off.
this is going to be interesting.
I
I wonder if
I
Matt
wanna
Carr
see
is
him
going
pull
to come
that one
back
off.
for the wingless. Because, you know, he went around that track, man, he was flying. But you know who wasn't there? Tim Knott.
Tim Knight.
So
not
that's going to be
science guy.
interesting. And of course, I'm always watching Brittany Trotman.
Yeah, Brittany's tough, man.
Brittany
If she,
Trotman,
if she
you know,
gets
she
good
won.
equipment, she's going to be all
You know
right.
who I'm watching in the 270s now?
Who's that?
Dale Trotman, the number 2.
Dale.
He's been hanging around there, and I look for that kid. You know, there's him and Ben McCall, right? Ben won't be racing for like I think 2 more weeks.
Still injured.
Jody McCall's gonna be driving his car, but I've been watching this kid, Dale Trotman, man. And number 2 is something.
Okay.
Other news in sports: Earl Wolf.
Yeah.
He was waived by Philadelphia Eagles. PCL. I talked to his mother, Sharon Hoke, and it's tough. He was trying his best to get back. And it just didn't happen, so they waived him. But he's rehabbing in Florida in a couple of months, and he still could get picked up this season.
Yeah, about 6 to 8 weeks. He said this surgery went a whole lot better than the surgery up in Philadelphia.
Right.
So let's continue to pray for
Hope
Earl.
for the best for him.
6 to 8 weeks. You know, they got some of them particles out, so you can come back from it
Right.
these days. It wasn't an ACL, and there's
It was a
about 18 of them.
PCL.
Yeah, there's about 18 of them messed up ACLs
Oh my goodness,
right
man,
now.
the ACL
everywhere,
is-
left and
is
right, throwing them out
Most
the window.
horrific injury every year in football.
But thoughts and prayers for Earl. He's recovering, and people need to lift him up a little
Yeah.
bit, lift the family
You know,
up.
be on the bandwagon when he's drafted. Be on the bandwagon when he's going through this as well. Don't
Yeah,
just
don't
be there.
just be there for the
Don't
highlight.
just be like, oh man, now I know Earl Wolf. Now all of a sudden you act like you don't know him.
Yeah.
You know what's an interesting point? I looked up and researched this. C.J. Gaddis, William Kershaw, other 2 guys that were in the NFL, limited time or not, that were drafted out of Hoke County High School. C.J. Gaddis went to Clemson. William Kershaw went to Maryland. You know, they all played defense. All played defense.
And Earl started out on defense.
Exactly. So it's interesting. So we don't have any offensive guys that made it to the show. So that's interesting. But yeah.
Yes, Riverside is heading to Pinecrest. That's a game. A lot of people
Yeah,
are
got
telling
my
me Pinecrest is strong. They're really strong.
Well, you know what? I don't give them too much credit because they open up with Overhills.
Right. That's
And
true.
then I think they got Union Pine. So I mean,
It'll be
they
a
always
better
start the conference at 6-0, but hey, they're playing somebody good early, so
All right.
give them the benefit of the doubt.
And then Lumberton, Coach Setzer is going over to the other side of Fayetteville to play Pine Forest. And Coach Setzer, I like what he's doing. They got a lot of good numbers, but that's going to be a team that Hoke County is going to have to beat if they want to make the playoffs.
What were the standings in the SEC? Who wasn't?
Last year?
No, this week, last week, week 1.
Of course, Richmond won. Purnell Sweat, I can't remember if they won or lost. Pinecrest won. Scotland won. And Lumberton, I don't remember how they fared. We need
I
to
think
get
they
that
lost.
from here on.
I think they did lose.
I
But
do
anyway,
have
so-
I do have results from the Fayetteville scores. We don't need them all, but there was teams that we're familiar with that we play. Scotland 47 over Southview 25. Jack Britt 26 over Douglasburg 0. 71st 55 Northern Durham 21. I'm surprised Northern Durham put those numbers up. And then other teams that we do play, E. Smith 22 and Southern Durham 21. That was a big game for E.
Really?
Smith.
Hey, colleges are opening up
Next week, I'll
next
be there.
weekend. And next week,
Next Thursday night.
Detrez Newsome, who was over at
Western Carolina.
Western Carolina, they opened up with Mars Hill on the 5th.
D-Train.
So you want the D train, you want to go out and get a school, go out and see a college game, he'll be playing, they're playing at home. You know, we got the whole list of guys, Appalachian State, we got a kid over there.
Yeah, I didn't bring that.
You
I'll
gotta
bring
get
that
that
next
list
week.
out there.
I'll
but,
bring
hey,
that next week.
College opens next week, so we'll talk about that next week. We want to get out to see a college game, hey.
Thursday
Labor Day
night.
weekend, and it's no racing next weekend.
Right.
So hey.
Thursday night in Charlotte, University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill versus the Gamecocks.
Well,
South-
okay.
That's,
well,
the, that's the
always
belt
good.
kickoff.
You know Gary Brickman will be at that one.
I don't know. I know
He's
I'll
a
be
South
there.
Carolina fan. But we want to keep an eye on our kids to see how all the ones that are in college and playing, and so we want to keep them going.
I want to give a quick shout out to the volleyball team at Hoke County High School. They've got 1 loss, but I think they've got 3 wins. They're doing really good. We'll have an update on the soccer team. I'll throw some scores.
Tennis
for
team
tennis.
took a tough one. Girls tennis team.
8-1.
How do we know? Because we were at the coaching show last night, and the Southview girls team let us know it too.
They sure did.
Speaking of rivals, and we talked about this last night. This will be my final point on sports.
All right.
Every game to me is a rivalry. You got to win them all. I'm always going for Hoke every week. The kids have got to step up and play. I mean, that's just one thing. Coaches coach, players play. And there's 3 things he can't coach, and that's guts, heart, and desire. You hope the kids got it, but I mean, it's just the way it is. But you know, these next 2 weeks are going to be telling.
Who we got next
3
week?
weeks? We got Jack Britt this week. Then we go 71st at home.
Right here.
71st comes home to Raz Archery, and then Southview. So we got a good 2-game homestand. And I mean, hey man, every game's a must win. But these are close games within 12, 15-mile radius.
I call the Jack Britt game
You know.
the Rockfish Road rivalry.
You know, I don't like them. You know, there's no secret to that. I mean,
Not a
great
big
people,
fan.
I just don't like the school, you know.
Now there are some kids
I
that
think they
live in
want
Hoke County that go to Jack
ECU
Britt.
wannabes, you know.
Yeah.
You know, they
They're
have
the
Eastern
Pirates,
Carolina
the Buccaneers.
colors. I don't like the announcer down there. I don't like the fact that the cheerleaders are doing push-ups every time they score. So hopefully they won't score.
One of the
You know?
cheerleaders is a Hoke County resident.
Really?
Yep, her mom.
Well, how
works
does that
at-
work?
But she works at the school.
Well, she doesn't play football, because if she played football, I'd be like, hey, you know, why aren't you playing for us?
There are some kids that
She
go
should
to
be
Jack
cheering for
Britt.
us, though. What's up with that?
You can go. You can attend a school
Really?
where your parents work.
Well, I'm just, hey. I'm
He
just
don't
saying.
like Jack Britt.
I don't like Jack Britt.
All right, what else? That's it.
You know, what do you know, must win, man. 71st, you know how good they are.
Oh,
Every team that we
dominant.
played on that schedule was in the playoffs last year, with the exception of maybe 1 or 2.
Purnell Sweat.
Purnell
Was
Sweat,
not.
I know one. Lumberton, were they in the
I
playoffs?
don't know. I don't think so.
So, I mean, you know, it is what it is, man. But to beat the man, you got to beat the man.
And
7 o'clock kickoff for Cumberland County. That's important.
that's important.
When we go to E. Smith, and of course, Jack Britt on Friday, the kickoff was at 7 o'clock. And we talked about all that traffic down Stonebridge, Sonia Point Road, and Lindsay. You need to try to sneak out of work early to get to the game. And of course, tonight, the JV game takes on Jack Britt here at Raz Archery. Kickoff is at 7 o'clock.
All right. I'm done.
Yeah. Next week, coach's show. Be there.
Oh, yeah.
Highway
7:30,
55.
Wednesday
Highway
night.
55 every Wednesday at 7:30. You got a question for the coach? Send it in. You like to sponsor the What's Happening Hoke show, or the coach's show,
Or the
Get a hold-
highlight reel.
or the GPS highlight reel
That's
is
a
out
good
there. We're gonna pick a player of the week every week. You know, offense, defense, special teams. A lot of stuff rolling on the What's Happening Hoke YouTube channel.
Go to YouTube, look for What's Happening Hoke, and like and subscribe. Go to Facebook, like and share our page, like the Southview lady tennis team is going to do.
Yeah, I mean, they were fans of it, but I'm glad that, you know, they spent their $1 in Hoke County.
And they did.
And Highway 55, so we had a lot of fun with them.
All right. good
That's it,
job,
man. Hey, we'll see you at the game
At
tonight.
the game Friday. I'm not going to.
You're not going to
I
JV
got-
game?
No,
I'll
I
be
got
at the
an
JV game
appointment.
tonight. Well, tonight I'll see you Friday.
Yep.
I'm Glenn Young for How None. What's Happening Hoke Show is brought to you by the Rock of Hoke Rockfish Motor Speedway. We'll see you next week.